Welcome back. It's Rickey Chavez with Battle Ready. You know, it's the process of reinventing yourself, and at any given time, no matter where you're at in your life, you can transition into another life by just being open. You know, and reinventing yourself, you have to be open to that. You can't pigeonhole yourself. In one of our previous segments, I had an amazing young lady out of Nora's home, and I have to always think about that when I say that so she don't correct me. But anyway, in Nora's home, and we talked a little bit about what she does there, and we're welcoming back to the store to talk a little bit about her transition. Hey, Annette, how are you today?
Hey, great, thank you.
Well, we talked about in the other segment, like I got that
good
time.
job.
The other segment about how now where you're at in Nora's home and the philanthropy part, and you know, still serving, just a different kind of serving, right? But prior to that, you were in the staffing industry for ever and ever. I'm gonna keep saying that, but for a long time. And kind of talk us through what prompted that change.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of times you look back on your life after you've made a change, and then you can identify why you did it. You know, while you're in it, it's kind of harder to do. But when I was in staffing, I was so busy, you know, it's kind of a rat race, just work. I enjoyed it so much, but for sure, one of the things that drove me was, you know, my value system. And so I managed using my value system, and I made decisions that weren't always popular with my managers that were over me and people under me. But the fact is, you know, I wanted to always be fair, I wanted to be honest, I wanted to do the right thing. Do the right thing was always the way, you know, the value that I used when I made decisions. And I found that moving into nonprofit is do the right thing. And so it's not surprising to people that I moved into it for that reason, but to get here, you know, I don't think when I thought my next position, I wanted to be a nonprofit. I'm going to go to a nonprofit. It was suggested to me by a dear friend. And so a dear friend said, Annette, you know what you really need to do? This is what you need to do. You need to go into this position. I'm going to refer you over to them. They have an open role right now, and you would be perfect for it. And along the way, you know, it makes sense because I volunteered on boards. I was the chair of the Health Museum, and I was involved in the Greater Houston Partnership, and I did a lot of things in nonprofit. I just never worked for a nonprofit, so I knew how they worked. So I guess if you look back, I was working my way to the point where that transition would be easy, both in terms of my culture, my value system, as well as just knowledge. So yeah, that's why it was so natural.
Okay. When people are at that place in their lives to make a transition, and it's very scary, you know, it's very scary. I can tell you that my wife was at Coca-Cola forever, and I think she would have died at Coca-Cola, but an event happened. So it put her into where she's at now, and she's just thriving. And you know, you had a lot of things going on in your life also at that time, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing that all the stuff in your personal life didn't take you a different direction. You feel okay about talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, and let's even back that up in terms of personal life and disappointments.
Okay.
So, you know, along the way, 34 years in the industry, I'll be honest about that.
Okay.
Started at 5 years old.
Right,
But,
exactly.
But during that time period, things happened that really disappointed me. And so either my position was eliminated, or someone got a promotion over me, or something happened.
Sure.
And you know, you can either be angry about it, or you can go, you know what, that's just business, and not take it personal. And you know, people don't mean to hurt your feelings or to cause you pain. It's business.
Sure.
So when things have happened to me along the way, I've just thought, you know what, it's business. And usually they're pretty good to you in terms of transitioning. But we've talked about this, something better always came along.
I think that's 100% right.
You know, as long as you accept it.
And you're open to it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's always a scary one, right?
I mean, if you keep looking back, oh, I had this, you don't even know what's out there for you. But if you just, if you think, these are my skills, this is what I can do, let me just network with everybody I know, and something's going to happen, and it always does. So in terms of professional disappointments, there were many.
Sure.
But personally, you know, over the last 7 years, during this time period, crazy things. You know, when all the floods happened,
sure.
We had 4 feet of water, 9 feet of water, 14 feet of water in my house in 16 months. So we rebuilt the house several times, and you helped me get out of that house and get another house. But
that's a whole
that
different
was
thing. I
crazy.
remember that.
So we
Yeah.
got that. And then my husband had 2 knee surgeries, not just knee surgeries, knee replacement surgeries. He had a heart surgery. He had a stroke. And now, 37 months ago, he was diagnosed with brain cancer, glioblastoma. It's pretty aggressive. But he is thriving. You've seen him.
Yes.
It's amazing how tough he is. Having been an ex-Olympic athlete, that probably helps.
Yes, for sure.
You know, so he's inspiring to me. But you know what? That can be distracting, and it can make a difference in how you make decisions for your family, you know, as we move forward. So my husband has brain cancer. My elderly mother is living with us, and I lose my job. That's frightening to me.
Sure.
But, you know, all I can do is just trust the fact that, you know, I have a lot of friends that I network with. I've got people, something's going to happen. Something good is going to happen. But I can't just sit on the couch and pout. I mean, I have to get out and make it happen. So.
You know, so you said some things that really resonate with me. You have a lot of good friends that work with you, that network for you, that help you. But there's also people out there that, you know, they're good people, you like them, but they're not always positive influences. Do you have any? Have you ever had any of that in your life?
Sure, you know, and sometimes it's the whole gaslighting thing, or sometimes it's they're just, you know, that they are not their value system's not the same. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
And you can still be nice to those people. My son has a great saying: "I got nothing but love for you." You know,
Okay.
he's like, there's no reason though to continue to keep them in your close network if they just continue to, you know, spew negativity. I mean,
Sure.
you just can't. You can't have that in function, you know, for a long period of time in a healthy way. So when I've had those people, nothing but love for them, but, you know, I also don't prioritize them
Events
in
with
my
them.
life.
Oh yeah, you know, and I think that is a lot of people are afraid, and it might even be a good word to be afraid, but afraid to be alone. But if they're, you know, they open their arms, they go out there, they meet friends, they network, and I think one of the things I always say about network, a lot of people feel like in networking they need to have immediate results, but the reality is you network with people because you like to meet people, and they may know somebody that needs to know you, right?
Right. I mean, you're right about that. We used to say we're not going on a networking thing to shag orders. You know, it's like to give business. In reality, you're going out there just to be known and to help others, and you do that a lot. So when you're out there, don't try to, hey, bam, card.
Sure,
you know.
sure.
It's more like meet 1 or 2 people, get to know them. How can you help them? And if naturally, it'll come in return. And if it doesn't, so what? You help them. It's you know, it's great. So.
It's also all about timing. I mean, if you always leave a good taste in somebody's mouth, why wouldn't they find something out and get back with you? I think we were talking about Instagram a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know this. I don't know why do people use it, whatever. And I was telling you about, I was in a meeting yesterday, and I'm a real estater. I'm a realtor by trade, but I was in a class, and we were talking about marketing, and the guy's like, what do you do? Because I open my phone and you're all over my Instagram. And lucky for me, I have somebody that I pay that does it really well. But the key here was the house that I had came out, and he had a client for it. So going back to with you, with Nora's home, it's like you get it out, and you have such a big network. Mm-hmm. And when people pop on in, they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't never know about Nora's home until you mentioned it to me. I would never had an idea. And to be brutally honest, on my Texas driver's license, organ donor says no, but that will change. I'll say.
Well, it's funny you say that because Donate Life is coming up. April is Donate Life Month, and there are 4,000 people in Houston alone waiting for a kidney.
Really?
And we can donate kidneys. I mean, we've got 2, so we can donate. And I've actually seen the surgery, and it's just so incredible. But if you think about it, you know, that's just giving life to someone else. Just, you know, and you can either donate a kidney we call it a Good Samaritan, or non-directed, or you can donate for someone else, and then they'll get a kidney for you. I mean, people wait years for this.
Really?
And then they're on dialysis waiting. It's tough. So you don't have to be on a gurney to donate.
Okay, fair enough. I think, Yeah, I have no idea why I always put no.
I think
Shame
there's
on me.
you know why? I think one of the myths in the past was that doctors will let someone die
Okay.
who has, organs, or they may not try as hard, or there are things that I've heard like that, and it's simply not true. I mean, doctors, they first and foremost are going to help the patient that they have right there, for sure, 100%. And there are lots of laws and stipulations, and I mean, there's the whole moral code. I mean, the whole thing around just ensuring that there's no way one can help this one patient before even going down that road. But people can also donate, be a living donor, and obviously kidney is the easiest one, but even part of your liver.
Really?
Yeah. So there's some pretty exciting stuff.
Well, I need to lose some weight. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but I appreciate the thought. But everybody, Annette, why don't you tell somebody how they can donate real quick?
Well, lots of ways. But you know what you can do? You can go. There's a great website called badgeofhonor.com, and it has all the information you need for donating. Or you could go to norashome.org, and there's some information there. But either one of those would give you some good feedback on what to expect.
Well, listen, I appreciate you as always being on the show. Love our conversations. Everybody, it's been a pleasure talking with you guys. We look forward. We're getting ready to go into commercial. We'll be back as soon as possible.